Everybody, Aaron J. Anderson here at aaronjanderson.com. This is the 7th video in the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera series that I've been doing. And this video was going to be at the end of the series. It's basically about my rig because as I'm testing things out with the camera and using it, I'm just basically reconfiguring the way my rig is. So I was going to wait, but I think I basically got it down. And the other thing, people's been asking me about it, so I thought, you know what, let me just go ahead and put this video up now. If anything changes dramatically, then I can do another video, a little roundup video at the end of the series. But so we're going to show you how I basically set my rig up. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos or the behind the scenes of my clandestine short film that I did last year, a lot of people ask me what rig am I using. And actually, as I stand here, it's called P&C. It's a company. I'll go to my website, and that's where I'll link the pictures to the stuff that I use, and along with a link so you can go get it yourself if you like this setup. So I'm not going to go all over the names here, but I'll just show you. Go to my website and find out. One of the things with cameras in general is I don't like a lot of accessories hanging off of them. I don't like cables. I don't like to worry about extra electronics and batteries. If I have to use them, then I will, but most of the time I don't. I like to take the camera as small as I can. So what I did was just looked around at this rig that I've been using and said, how can I reconfigure it so that the pocket cinema camera can be at its smallest and then build up from there with really easy to do steps here. So first of all, let me show you, I'll show you this first. One of the main problems with the pocket camera is the battery. We all know that. The battery is good if you're doing B-roll because you get about an hour of battery runtime on one battery, maybe 45 minutes. But if you're just going out doing B-roll, or if you go to my website and you see some videos that I do of just pretty scenery and stuff like that, basically what you do there is you set the camera up and you point it in a pretty direction and you press record for maybe 12 seconds. Then you pack up, you move to another pretty location, another 12 seconds. So you could do a lot of stuff on one little battery, and of course you can just keep one or two more in your pocket and it's fine. But the problem I have with that is when you think it's good when you're using it like that, once you start using it in a situation where you have talent, you have an actor or an actress, that can get really kind of spooks me out because I'll set the camera up, I'll turn it on, and if anybody has a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, you're going to know even if the battery's fully charged, you put the battery in there, it'll say like 98% almost like immediately, and then maybe a minute later it's like at 94, and I mean it's just really kind of inaccurate and you don't know really where it's going. So let's say you turn it on, you set the actress up there, and you have it on, and let's say you're ready to go, but something's wrong with the makeup, so hair and makeup's got to come in and do something. Or I had one time a backdrop fall down in the back, so I went over there and fixed it real quick. Now your minutes are going now with the camera. So by the time you fix all that set up, you might be ready to go with your actor. A couple takes go on, and now let's say, okay, this is the crying scene, let's say, and she gives her heart out to the scene and the camera and you. In the film, and the battery dies in the middle of that. That's really bad. So you always have to say, well, let's change your battery out because it's 11%, and I don't want to. It gets really hairy when you start working like that. So I needed a better battery option. And first of all, I'm going to show you real quick. Let me keep going with this, and maybe I'll do a tutorial on the battery itself. You know what? In fact, I will do a tutorial on how I built the battery that I'll show you, and then if you go to my website. Under this blog, maybe I'll put a link there, something like that. So if you're watching this, go to my website. By the time I put this up, I'll probably put a link to the battery modification or DIY battery over there. Okay, let's keep going. So I wanted to be able to do the battery. This is the DIY battery, by the way. This battery here, I won't go into detail. Maybe I'll get more detail in the video, but this is a battery that is used for CC security cameras, and this is 9,800 milliamp. That's quite a bit. This thing, I tested it one time up to 6 hours. I actually press recorded on the camera, and I let it record. When the card filled up, I switched the card, and I went around about 6 hours before this died. So I was like, you know what? That's good enough for me, so I stopped the test. So about 6 hours of continuous. That's on a set, you don't usually record continuously for 6 hours. You might be, you know, out filming for a full day, let's say 8 hours. You can go more than that, but let's say 8 hours. You're not constantly recording those 8 hours. You're setting things up, and so this is going to last you pretty much all day. But nonetheless, 9,800 milliamp. When I first seen people talk about these on the internet, I always seen these sitting by themselves, and I really didn't realize how big it was. But it is quite big. It's actually bigger than the camera itself, and it's not that heavy. It's decent. One of the problem is though, by using this is part of the DIY part that I'll maybe show you. Go to my website, and I will do it on my website. So go to the website and check it out. I'll make sure I put that up before I post this. The problem is how you get this on your camera, you know, and that's one of the main reasons I went and configured that one rig that I had that you guys been asking about. And this basically is the top plate of that rig. It would go up here like this. The handles would come down here like this. These rails would go below that, and that's how the whole rig was. And then you mount your camera under here. But I wanted to minimalize this and just set it up. So what I did was I used these base plates on like everything. I have these quick release plates on all my tripod heads, my crane, my slider, and then those base plates come with the quick release plate that you put under your camera, so you could take your camera off and then go ahead and just put them on all your other things, and it's really quick when you're on set. This particular tripod doesn't have it because it actually has a plate that fits it already, so I don't have one of those base plates on there. So just in case you're wondering why I don't have it there, this actually fits. So what I did was I took the top plate of that PNC cage, and I how do I show this here? The base plate that goes on the camera is under here, and these have threaded holes all through them. Some are threaded, some are straight pass through. And I have this off to the side just a little bit for a reason. I'll show you that in a minute. And there's two holes that, a threaded hole that lines up perfectly with the base plate here. Screwed that down, so now this plate's on there. And now this plate actually has a hole in it that actually lines up with a pass-through hole on the base plate now that goes all the way through into a threaded hole on the quick release plate. So conveniently, they line up perfectly, and now you got anti-twist here, and you've got this mounted here. So what I did for this not to have anti-twist, I actually used self-fusing, I don't know what it's called, it's rubber, it's self-fusing. When you wrap it around like a pipe and you pull on it, the rubber self-fuses. I use that a lot to cut strips off, put it underneath my base plates, and I super glue it. And then when you screw this on, I mean, there is like, it's not going anywhere. It's like rubber there, and it's just like, this whole thing right here is like, has no twisting at all, which is very important because I hate my cameras twisting around and wobbling. So that's really cool. And I'm trying to talk fast to get through this so I don't bore you guys. Now, the rod mount that was on the PNC deal used to hook in like this underneath, but I just took all that off, and underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, is a hole that perfectly lines up with a threaded hole inside on what used to be the top plate. Conveniently, what I used was a screw from one of my other quick release plates that go on the bottom of the camera. I put it in there, and right there you just screw that bad boy in there with that rubber that I told you about, and I mean there's no twisting going on here. So now we've got a nice solid base plate. And as you can see on here, I have some Velcro. I bought some Velcro, I cut it perfect here, I put it on, and then I took a knife underneath, cut it out so that no sticky stuff no like dirt and lint gets stuck underneath the plate, so I cut that out. Okay, so there's the base plate. When you put this on your tripod, the other cool thing, and if you press in the safety release button and press all the way back, and then you go ahead and tighten it down, that's another anti-twist kind of portion here. Sorry about the light going down. It's storming outside, and I just noticed I'm kind of underexposed now. But now that thing is rock solid. It's not going anywhere if we lock that off. I mean, it is rock solid. Now, the reason I have the Velcro here was for that let's talk about the camera first. We'll go here. Now on the camera, you're going to notice something too that I did. Was really, when I first had this camera, I actually had the quick release plate on the camera tripod mount. But what I noticed is that since the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera has such a narrow bevel, it doesn't have a good wide base. So when that was on, I noticed that my lens was the whole thing was just kind of drooping down. And when I used my follow focus, it kind of moved a little bit. And I was like, that's just not good at all. That's because the bevel is so skinny. Even if you crank it down, it still has some move to it. So in order to fix that, if you have a speed booster, it comes with a tripod mount. I have this base plate now going through here to the tripod mount, which relieves all the heavy camera stress from the camera mount now, because it's now all on the really heavy duty Metabone speed booster. And conveniently, again, just like on here, there's a hole that when you situate the plate, it lines perfectly up with the Blackmagic tripod mount here. So now I've got 2 screws going in, and that's more anti-twist. There's absolutely no twist going on there. Another thing I noticed is the Metabone speed booster, when I was just hooked up to that, the camera would actually kind of go back and forth because the speed booster is not 100% tight, and I didn't like that. So by doing this, you got anti-twist, and this is rock solid. It's not going anywhere. So that's another big deal. Now, with this system, you've got your internal battery here. You can go around and you can film like this, nice and small if you need to go small shots. And of course, you got a Zacuto Z finder. So now you've got, you know, a bunch of points of contact here. And you can just like run and gun with this little thing, very tight places, whatever. If you want that extra battery and you want more accessories, that's where we now go on to this. Let's see if I can do this here. If you notice here, I have this, you know, you can kind of go back and forth with this. I go to the back of the safety, and then I just pull up on this. So now it's not going anywhere, and that leaves me, let's see if we can see that. That leaves me with access to my battery and my SD cards. So that's a plus. So we're not hindered by that. And then the battery I told you about, I made this cable. I'll show you, like I said, go to my website and I'll put a video there. But I wired my own cable up to it, and I'll link to all these different parts too. So that, Velcro here, when you line this up here, when you have Velcro, just go in, you know, twist like that. Now you can see, now look at that. We've got a nice, almost cableless, you know, and I don't like cables hanging around. The battery actually kind of protects this area from being hit. And now you just turn that on, and you've got a nice, you know, battery set up for 6 hours. So it's really cool. And you can still take this off if you want, and you can still run and gun with that on there. It's really not that heavy, you know. I mean, it's heavier, but it's still doable. So you still got 6 hours even like this. So you're kind of getting the idea of how I'm trying to set this up so that I can have flexibility and still keep it small. So the next thing is, with this setup, if you want to add more stuff, we can add rails. So let's stick some rails in here. I've already got a follow focus on here. This is a defocus by, what is that, Jag 35. And I don't have it just because it's inexpensive. I've had more expensive ones, but those were heavy, and I don't use follow focuses that much. Only on certain shots where I really have to mark something off, I'll do it. Sometimes it's easier just to hold the camera, you know, like this and just focus this way. For me, it's much easier than taking my hands off the camera and trying to, you know, use a follow focus. But nonetheless, sometimes I do use it. And then if you want to also, we can put this on here. And I'm just going to engage that. So now you've got your follow focus on here, right? Nice little, boy, it's getting a little dark. Sorry, guys. So now we got 6 hours. We've got a follow focus on there. If you want to do, a matte box, someone asked me about matte boxes too. Go to my website and I'll leave some posts there. But if you want the matte box now on here, you've got that on there. One thing about this matte box, if your guys are interested, the matte box comes by itself with 2 filter trays. It doesn't come with a French flag. You can get that separate. And it doesn't come with a mount. This mount I have had for years for other things. You will have to order one of those with, now the mount comes with the rail mount, but it doesn't come with the vertical plate, and you have to order that separate. Go to my website and I'll explain it more. There's the matte box. Of course, if you want to do external audio, I have this up here. Let's see if I can, let me just turn this away from you guys real quick. So now I've got some audio here, and why I put it on this side is just so that I can run a really short cable here. What else? We've got, if you use a monitor, now this is an old monitor that I used to use. It does not work on the Pocket Cinema camera. This is a Lilliput, and I don't even remember the number on it, but it will not work on this camera, so I'm going to look into getting something else. But over here, we still got some screw holes here, some threaded, some aren't threaded, so we can put something like this. If you got one of these arms, you can hook maybe 3 of those up here. So if you want to put a mic up here along with a light and all that other stuff. Usually I don't have camera mics and lights for most of the stuff I do, because if you're making a film, you probably don't want your light source to be there. So we can crank this down. So there you've got your monitor. Can you see that, guys? All right. And then last but not least, we still have room for, let me see, we still have room for the handles to go underneath. This is actually where they went originally, but you had that bottom plate that I completely got rid of. I don't use it, didn't need it. And even with the battery here, there's still threaded screws under there. And they have some anti-twist knobs on there. So there you go. There's my new little rig that you can break down to handheld. You can have all this stuff on it. If you've got more of these arms, you could probably put 2 more here with a mic and a light or whatever else you use. And you can still take this thing off. See, you still got that. Hopefully I'm not out of focus. You could still, one thing cool about the defocus is you've got this little handle, so you can actually rest your hand here like that, and you can still focus if you want, like that. Or you can still focus from under here if you want. Can you see that? Like that. However you want to do it. Sometimes you'd probably get your focus down and then tuck your elbows in and then say in action and then just go like this. You can have a focus puller, pull focus, anything you want, but typical rig, you know, pretty nice. You can use a monopod on the bottom of this because I have the plate here. And let's put this back. Again, I'm trying to run through this. I don't want to bore you guys. Of course, you got the Zacuto. Another thing, if you have a Zacuto, and I can't believe they didn't think about this, but on top of the Zacuto, let's see if I can show that. Oh, another thing is this is pretty well balanced too. I've tried to put the weight over the center column, which the lens is the heaviest part, so it's pretty close to that. So it doesn't have this really front heavy. Anyways, on top of the Zacuto, I put some a Velcro, and on this little eyepiece I put some Velcro. So when you're not using the eyepiece, because it hangs down like that, that's absolutely annoying. It clanks against stuff. Just come over here like this, and you can Velcro that there. Can you see it? See, pretty cool. So now that's out of the way. And you don't want to waste space, so what I did also is on this battery, let's move this so I can just show you here. If you look at the battery, I put some Velcro up here. So any items like your lens mount, put some Velcro on there, slap that on there. So now you've got a nice little place to put your lens. That way you don't lose it. You plop it in your pocket or whatever, or if you have like a marking pen for that, you can put some Velcro around it and stick it on there too. So many options there. And I think that's it. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. I think that's really it. So if you have any questions about the rig, go ahead and leave some comments. Again, before I put this up, I will do a review on the, not a review, what do you call it? DIY, how to do it, the battery, how to make your own little hot wire cable there. One thing cool before I go, this cable here has removable tips. So I bought this from Radio Shack, the cable, and these tips you can just change out for whatever else you want. You just got to make sure that whatever you're plugging it into can receive 12 volts, because that's what this battery is. Now there's a lot of different batteries on eBay. The one I have don't have no USB port. It doesn't have anything. It just has one charge port and the switch. And what I use this for, because that was the original port where you charge it with, and you plug whatever you want into it. But now I just use that for charging. So I didn't mess anything up there, used it for charging and the cable. So that's it. I've been watching myself most of the time here because I see the lights and trying to figure this out. So I apologize for the bad video here, but just wanted to get this out of the way for you guys because you've been asking. So anyways, questions, go to aaronjanderson.com, leave some comments. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.